I'm joined by Rodrigo Costa, and we're going to be talking about his game that is coming out called Arena Gods. And it will be coming out this week, either on Monday or Tuesday, depending on a couple scheduling things. But thank you, Rodrigo, for agreeing to talk to us a little bit about this game. No doubt on very little sleep before early access drops.
Right? Yeah. It's been crazy. It's our first game,
Mm-hmm.
so nice to be with you, Jacob. And Arena Gods is a top-down arena where four gladiators fight for the victory
Mm.
and scramble for weapons that spawn on the arena. And it's basically you should basically survive until the end and be the last one standing. That's the basic premise of Arena Gods.
Yeah, right. For people that haven't seen this, I've seen this a couple times at PAX. It's incredibly
Right.
fast paced. It's incredibly chaotic. Great
Yeah.
fun. And one of the things that I think really elevates this game from a lot of the other arena shooters is the way that you've laid the maps out. And I think that's kind of
Right.
something I want to touch on first because I think it's something that will set Arena Gods apart from a lot of the other games. So for people that haven't seen Arena Gods, these maps wrap. So if you're running to the top, you're suddenly going to come out the bottom and be able to catch somebody unaware. Why
Right.
did you guys choose to make your maps that way?
We were inspired by other games. There's this concept is not new, something that is even like comes from Pac-Man. But just because we have these top-down arena, we didn't want to make it that it would be just like too boring to just to be enclosed on
Mm.
that box. So we believe Arena Gods is also about like all about movement because like the other fighting games you're very used to deal like with gravity, like up and down, downstairs and upstairs. And in Arena Gods you have like all this dynamic of movement. So having this dynamic of the maps changing the dynamic of the fight depending on the room looping, just makes the combat sometimes unpredictable,
Mm.
but also in the beginning. But once you get the hang of it, you can use in your advantage. So actually, your friends are a lot closer than you think sometimes. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. The first time I saw somebody throw a spear through a gate and it come out the other side of the map, I was like, "Oh, now we've got something cool." Um,
right. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, it's an animals like the favorite map of everybody. Just one that we have, just like one square in the center, and all the map loops.
mm,
And yeah.
yeah,
Things get pretty chaotic on this one.
yeah. So what was your inspiration for specifically making like a gladiatorial combat um,
Oh,
game?
okay. Cool. Yeah. So this started over Mark Parrish, the creator of Arena Gods. The we were the development started in Beijing, and and we were working for a year, in several projects that we just trashed. We were used to work on the mobile industry,
Mm-hmm.
and we quit. We decided to enter this indie world, and the very we were like almost giving up, and we came up with the Mark came up with these prototype, and it wasn't even about melee combat. It was a shooter, and he threw the weapon at me and was like a top down, and it was like, dude, that was really cool. Next day he came up with the prototype and all the basic like all the core features of Arena Gods that you see today were implemented on that game maker prototype.
Mm.
The top down, the room looping, the deflection, execution on the ground. And so yeah, at that time we were playing a lot of Hotline Miami, Towerfall, so Needhog.
Mm.
There was that zeitgeist about the local multiplayers at a time, at a point in time. It was 2014 to 2015. So yeah, I would say that that was the main inspiration for us and where Arena Gods came from.
Awesome. Now you've been connected to the art of the game, you as the art director.
Right.
And one of the things I noticed in the most recent kind of previews of Arena Gods is that the art
Hmm.
changes the art style has evolved a little bit. When I first saw Arena Guards, it was kind of almost Art Deco, very flat colors, very just the single colors for each player, and the art style in the most recent builds, which I'll have some comparison video going on. It has a little bit more depth to it. What made you pull the art in that direction?
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, we started with a prototype we sent to IGF China, which we got into and was just like mind blowing. Was really cool. And at that point in time, we were just like doing what we could do in a very short amount of time. But the same principle of having the very very low value shadows that help to tell the story of what's going on, because it's very hard to make something top down look good, and we saw that having the shadows telling the story as well, like it would help us a lot. So we bring that same concept. We have that same concept today, but we changed the art style pretty much just because we have to look like a. It was also like a artistic decision, but also to look more like appealing, and also something we don't see a lot yet in Arena Gods is different cameras, more perspective, more close-ups, slow motion replays and stuff we are planning to do in the future to make just like more eye candy. We know is not that how can I say, stylized or unique as we were before, but we believe with this art style we just get a wider range of audience as well, and it's a better way to tell the story from up close.
Especially if you're moving in the direction of showing kind of more up close art, so I can absolutely see why you would go that route. That's interesting.
Right.
So moving away from talking about Arena Gods specifically to talking about kind of your story,
All right.
What got you started in independent game development?
Oh yeah. So to be honest, before Arena Gods, I had like not a lot of. I was just like planning to do a lot. My background, I'm 3D artist, and I just wanted to work like on AAA games and very high resolution characters and ZBrush and all that kind of stuff. But I was kind of like at a period in my career where I was very bored as a gamer. Like just like playing very little game, not playing almost no games at all, and stuff. And then Mark showed me like all this indie world and showed me a lot of games, and I was like kind of like, oh, indie games, and I was not, I just didn't know like this whole very good indie games world. And after that, I just don't want anything else for my career anymore. Just because like I feel very blessed to be working on a game that I liked very much, and yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
world.
Absolutely. So what games kind of were an inspiration for you? You mentioned kind of being introduced to the world of these indie games. What were the games that really captured your imagination right from the start?
Oh yeah, I'd say more like not so much my imagination, but also the gameplay itself. Like I play like I'm a huge fan of Chivalry, medieval warfare from Agatha. Yeah, for Agatha.
Yeah.
And just like when you throw a spear at someone that is far, and it's so satisfying when it lands.
Feels good.
And yeah, and then when Mark showed the very first prototype, I was just like, whoa, this just feels just like Chivalry, kinda.
Yeah.
And
it's like from a different perspective, but it does have that same feeling.
Right. And because of the fast pace and stuff, like I'm Brazilian, but I'm not very too much in soccer, and not a lot into racing, but also Rocket League. I've played a lot, and it's just like so good. I like it a lot. So yeah, that'll be basically like my favorite indie titles.
Cool. And just to kind of bring this to a close, we always ask indie developers, what other indie teams they're really excited about. So are there any other indie teams kind of
Oh,
from your neck of the woods, or any indie projects you're really excited about that you'd like to
oh
share?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like we are, so SuperType is not based anywhere. We are based all over, all remote.
Mm.
But most of our team and lead development and all the development now is being done in Florianópolis, Brazil. And there is a cat Nigiri.
Yeah.
It's a, yeah, it's our neighbors. And they just released Necrosphere.
Mm.
You check it out. It's super cool. Very nice game. The team is just like fellow co-workers, and I'm very glad for them. Like they are pushing a lot the local community here, the indie community. And also there is Relic Hunters. They
Mm.
are on Kickstarter from the guys from Behold Studios and Dungeonland. And you guys should check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a shooter. It's kind of like Enter the Gungeon with yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I just finished back then on
Awesome.
Kickstarter.
Awesome. Those are
Cool.
some great recommendations. We'll have links to that stuff below in the details. And we will certainly have links to the Steam page for Arena Gods, which will be coming out probably about the same time as this interview. So you should all check that out. Rodrigo, thank you very much for taking a little bit of time to
No
talk to us
problem.
and give us a little bit of history about the game.
Cool. Thanks, man. And yeah, you guys also can check Arena Gods. Will be represented by the Indie Boost guys at TwitchCon. They're gonna be featuring Arena Gods in their booth. So just like yeah, step over and check Arena Gods, check on Steam, and you guys will like for sure.